It's Monday, and where else would you rather be instead of being here right now watching P1 with the INDYCARs starting off a new season at Road America. Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gotzo doing some part-time duty here for the Open Series while Murph is on vacation. And welcome to P1's broadcasting coverage of Round 1, Week 1 of Season 3 of 2025 of the INDYCAR Open Series Monday Night Top Split, coming to you from everyone's favorite permanent road course on the annual INDYCAR schedule. It is Road America. Joining us full-time in the booth for this season for the Open broadcast is Jacob Collins. Jacob, welcome, sir. Rogue Racing's Jacob Collins. And good to have you here. And this is a racetrack that everyone likes. Everyone seems to do reasonably well here. We kind of know the numbers. We know this car very well here. But you actually have some real-life experience here at this racetrack that you might be able to describe to us when we do this race today.
That I do. I've had the fortunate circumstances of making a WKA Super National start when that was still an event that was ongoing at the facility here at Road America. That unfortunately I believe ended in about 2012. So it's been a while. I've got fun pictures of me sitting in my go-kart when I was about 8 on the front stretch in the pit lane. So it's always good to come here and relive some memories.
Well, we have qualifying currently underway here. We got a minute 32 left to play now, right at a minute 30. On the pole is one of our B license holders, Des Noyers. He is on the pole right now, and right behind him is Adam Blocker. Oster Noge, four-alarm Blaze Andrich, the General Kevin Burrell, last season's Open Series champion. New pickup by Power Slide, Alexander Russell in 8th as Des Noyers continues to hold the provisional pole. More with the Williams Esports entry goes to P2. Blocker back to P3. Still cars on the racetrack putting time in. There are your conditions. A very comfortable 70 degrees and a not too bad 93 degrees on the track temperature.
Yeah, that's normally a big factor, especially at these larger tracks with more straightaway, is you tend to see people kind of experiment with radiator inlets and the like. So it's always a interesting thing to see how the weather impacts these cars, especially as the heat goes up. That also kind of impacts tire degradations. We'll just have to see what happens as we go over the course of this race.
Time's getting ready to be official here in about 10 seconds, and then we're going to go racing for 22 laps. And it's interesting, we were talking about this in the pre-race, 22 laps, that's down 1 lap from the last time we were here. Last time we were down here, it was 23 laps. So what kind of change there, do you think?
Well, it's likely just going to make the red tire stint even shorter, would be my suspicion. It's also entirely possible that, depending on how people opt to handle it, that they're going to maybe start on those reds, get them off early, get onto the blacks earlier, and try to make up time. You know, that's kind of the trade-off back and forth. We'll have to see how far forward or how far back in the field people try to take that red tire gamble early.
And we are going to do a full pace lap here. I don't know, that might be a reason why they decided to go with the extra one less lap, do the full pace lap. I don't remember us doing that before, but it's always good to see. And that does impact kind of some of the strategies as we are starting to line up. Let's get into tonight's starting lineup here from Road America. And on the pole, he is the 11th ranked driver in this sim, and he's driving for Fiercely Forward. And he has put it on the pole with a time of 1:42.3. That is Kevin Des Noyers. Right behind him, right next to him, is the Williams Esport entry. He's currently sitting second in the IIS points. It's Nathan Moore, Adam Blocker. Hot off a pretty good performance with the team at Gateway with Connor Daly. He's back behind the sim tonight. P3, Jacob Oster in P4. Alex Noge in P5. Blaze Andrich The 4-alarmer, he is not on the grid yet. He's making a decision what tires he wants to go with. So far, everyone we see in this shot pretty much going with the prime tires. Blaze has loaded in. 4-alarm Blaze Andrich is now, he is on the primes. Kevin Burrell, the general, he is on lining up 7th there. And then the new pickup for Power Slide. Robbing from the satellite cabinet there is Alexander Russell. And then on road 5, right behind him, his old boss, Adam Crane. And right next to him, good friend of the program and one of the guys that occasionally sits in the booth with us. And he finished on the podium last season in the Open Series. That is Nick Sudik. Back in row 6, we got Rashad Craig and Seb Alexander, teammates. Miss Excitement, Olivia Hayward. She's back in the 13th spot. Right next to her is Daniel Mosteller. There's Daniel in the Vanilla Coke car. Back on row 8, we got Logan Edwards. And yes, we have to have a Larson livery. And that is going to be Raul Ramirez. Raul, we can get you a road course IndyCar livery if you want one. We can get one for you. Matt Taylor, looks like Matty's going to line up from the pits. Not on the starting grid right now. He is now 17th, so I think he's going to take a start from the pits. David Enger in 18th. Luis Nunez, not LGN, deciding not to take time. Back in row 10 with Hamilton Akabaweezy. Finished second in the Open Series last season. He's going to be in 20th. Nadi Emmel in 21st. Will Weiser in 22nd as we start heading up the hill to this blind left-hander. And Alexander Miller rounding out the remainder of this 23-car field. No time for a lot of those guys in the last couple of spots. Trying to do the worst to first challenge here early in the week as we are going downhill in the turn 8 before heading off into the carousel. New sound effects. I was saying in the pre-race, I love the low RPM growl these things have. But it's still not perfect. They can still work on the sounds a little bit of understanding. That's what I'm hearing from some people. We'll also give you some
Chewbacca chortle, as they're calling it.
Chewbacca. Call it the Dallara purr.
There we go.
And we will have new camera angles to show you of what the new graphics are for in the car. You will see a new steering wheel. In fact, let's go right along with Adam Blocker here. And there you see the new steering wheel. Now, all of that information on that steering wheel right there, he gets updates on. We will not be able to see anything, really, what his wheel's going to read out. That is all security capped for us. I don't know why it's like that. I mean, if I was watching in-car cameras on a real IndyCar race, I should be able to see that information and data live, right?
My suspicion is it's probably
hard to code.
In-sim espionage would be what they're concerned with. It's the same reason why we don't get core tire temps, is they don't want people cheating with their tire temps. Away we go.
And breaking out to a big lead is Desnoyers, but we are all nose to tail right behind him. It's going into turn 1. Here we go. Oh, couple cars going wide. Rejoined very safely. Not sure who those were. I think one was Jacob Oster.
I believe the other was Russell. Yeah, the other was Russell out in the gravel.
So Russell in his first start for Power Slide. A little rough. Now he's trying to find a way through with right in front of him, Olivia Hayward and Luis Nunez. Coming down in the braking zone, Jacob Oster lights him up, trying to get the bead to the inside of Kevin Burrell up the hill. Here's the track map. Adam Crane right on Blaze Andrich. This is a new cooperative relationship between Rogue Racing and Satellite Racing. That camp continues to get a little bit bigger. Right in front of this duo is Nogue, who is up one spot. He improved one. Here's Crane to the inside of Andrich in the Canada corner. Blaze cooperates and lets him have it. Move the Canadian up one spot in the corner named after his country. Up the P5, but back up front, this Noyers. He is really pulled away by 1.3 seconds here already on the first lap, at the end of the first lap.
Well, we might need to addendum the namesake of the corner, because from what I recall, I could be wrong here, is that it's either Canada Dry or some sort of Canadian beer bottle that they named the corner after, because they would tend to find many bottles and cans in that corner of that variety, so they named the corner after the bottles in which they found in it.
It was assumed that there were Canadians sitting there. Yes, I've heard the story. The Canada Dry story must be the non-alcoholic version. I'm pretty sure it had to be beer, knowing Canadians.
Well, it's Wisconsin as well, right? Hip check onto Andrich from Burrell coming out of 5.
Yeah, we're on that now. Slight. Yeah, was not expecting that one. It is Des Noyers with the fiercely forward entry. Here comes Oster taking a peek to the inside of Blaze. Fiercely forward, commanding a many spots in the top 10. Currently first, 5th, 6th, and 9th. Fiercely forward. Down the straight, through the kink.
Luis Nunez up 7 already.
Yeah, Luis Nunez, he wastes no time, and I don't know what he was doing. Maybe just for fun, a little worse the first challenge, but he is on the man on the move right now, up 8 spots already at the completion of a lap 3 at the top of the hill. Nathan Moore, purple lap. Adam Crane betters that lap. A 1:44.8. And Crane, the only one to start on the alternate tire in the top 10. In fact, he's the only one in the top 13. The next closest driver is Nadi Emmel, who Nadi is doing pretty good. He's not echoing his name. Nadi is good. He's up 7 spots at this point early in the race. To the inside of Alexander Russell. They almost a little bit of tire smoke there. I don't think they made contact. Top of the hill, blind left-hander, and Nadi Emmel up another spot to 8th. Luis Nunez gets around Rashad Craig, move him up one more to 9th. Now does Akabo Weezy get the drop on Alexander Russell? Learning a new setup and a new team and a new car. Taking a low line through the carousel. Now everyone rockets starting out of the carousel through the kink. I propose that they rename the kink when she retires, the Catherine Legg turn.
Yeah, that was the big crash she had.
Yeah.
At some point, wasn't it?
And thankfully walked away. That is a shot on YouTube. If you could check it out, you should check that out. A very violent looking crash she walked away from. Also another YouTuber that I follow a lot. He's also on X. I follow him. He goes by the name Hickey. He posted recently 2 good videos of Road America history. The 90 wreck from AJ Foyt that basically ended his regular driving career. AJ had a very bad wreck here, and it really destroyed a lot of his ankles, his knees, his lower legs, to the point that rehabbing very painful, and just really decided that he would limit his schedule to Indianapolis really after that point in time. And then it really was only a couple more years after that before he eventually called it quits on retirement. But he got in a really bad wreck here. And also, he showed a video recently of the canceled, not the canceled, but the rescheduled 86 race. What little of the highlights that were shown on TV, because actually that race is the last non-televised IndyCar race that was ever held back in 86 right here at Road America. Since then, every other race has been on TV, one form or another.
And for that, we thank them.
Oster and Blaze Andrich through Canada corner. Oster and Andrich give each other a little bit of room. Here they come up through Bill Mitchell Bend. And Oster gets on by.
Yeah, that's one of those corners that's so hard to hang around on the outside because it really does fall away as you kind of come through that left-hander up over the hill, and especially as it kind of closes up towards that last corner in turn 14. You just kind of got to let them go after a point.
One of my uncles was named Bill Mitchell. I like that. They named a turn after my uncle. I appreciate that. Down the backstretch, which has a turn number. Or the stretch leading to turn 5 actually has a turn number there. That is actually turn 4. That little arc before getting to turn 5 right here. This turn 6 left-hander is very, very difficult. It's nearly blind in these Indy cars. What was it like on a go-kart going up that hill? They're expecting to turn left there. Did you just know where to turn? Did you just have a feeling for it? Because I always feel like when you race the IR18 here, you just got to kind of be ready for it. There's really no markers to be looking for to make that turn in there. It's kind of a blind left hand, if you ask me.
Yeah, the big one is here for the karts for a long time was in the laydown classes. When you come through the kink, there was talks that they wanted to run the motorcycle chicane, and at the time there was a bridge, and there still is that bridge kind of in front of that kink there. They've kind of moved some of the pillars around it a bit further away from the racing surface, but they had talked about wanting to run that motorcycle chicane, and they asked I believe one of the WKA officials at the time to come and lay down about 100 feet away from where that corner would be and told him, "Can you see it?" And he's like, "No, I can't." And he's like, "All right, then we're not running that." Because it's very much one of those things where if you can't see it, it's one thing to make the corner knowing it's there. It's another to when, maybe there's a car spun around near it and you can't see the corner at that point, that it's just too much of a risk.
Blocker on, push to pass. There you see the green button lighten up next to their name. Crane on, push to pass. You have the full complement of 200 seconds at your disposal for these shorter open races. So pretty much every lap, if you wanted to, you could spam the button and probably have more than enough.
Imagine around here, they're mostly trying to use it on corner exit to get that little bit of extra speed getting up to snuff here. You may see some guys choose to expend it a bit further down the straightaway depending on where they are at on the track.
Meanwhile, back up front to Snoyers. Wow, he has really pulled away. He is 3 seconds down the road. Now, I believe the last time we spoke with him, he finished on the podium at that open race where no one really wanted to finish on the podium. Or was that maybe the IIS race? I can't remember. It was at Detroit. And he said that he was still really learning these cars. Well, I think the accelerated courses are paying off as he is putting the waxing on some drivers behind him that have a lot of pedigrees. Right now, Nathan Moore, who is second on the racetrack, he is currently second in the IIS points. And currently the IIS is I guess if you want to call it the most highest of all the IndyCar current series on the in terms of official series on the service right now. That is the series that follows and mirrors the NTT INDYCAR Series. And then we don't really need to talk about the accolades of Kevin Blocker or of Adam Blocker as we see Kevin Burrell side by side with Crane going in the 5. Blocker has a long list of accolades in the IR18. And then Kevin Burrell, a former IIS champion, also won the Open Series last season. And Adam Crane, former IIS champion. So these are guys all behind us Noyers that are all very acclimated to these cars. And they are getting beat by a relative newcomer right now, as this Neuer is now 3.6 seconds down the road.
Yeah, and Anna Clements chiming in that I believe we're recounting the IIS race at Detroit where nobody wanted to finish on that podium. Quick update, it appears Hamilton Akabuezi has lost it out of turn 14. Looks like he maybe just overloaded his gearbox a little bit, spun it into that inside wall, and he has left the premises.
They may even be able to find Alexander Miller also had a meatball flag at one point. And Destroyer's putting down a purple lap with clean racetrack, a 1:44.6. I don't see through the event viewer of what happened to Hamilton, but he might appreciate me not showing that. I don't know.
Yeah, that turn 14 is one of the trickier ones, especially in these like higher downforce formula cars, is you'll see a lot of times cars will kind of sail it in there and want to use as much as that exit runoff as possible. But if you overshoot it just that slight little bit and get into the dirt, you start kind of, especially if you get to the grass afterwards, you're basically bouncing up and down with the roughness of that terrain as it kind of goes up back the hill. And you'll see a lot of times cars kind of just shoot all the way across the track trying to keep their cars pointed straight up over that elevation change.
Rashad Craig putting the attack on Nick Sudik to get into the top 10. Right there in turn 8. Now they're into the carousel, and there's a whole line of cars all lined up together. A little bit of a draft train. Nadi Immel up 8 spots to 13th now. Luis Nunez up 11 spots to 8th. There he is.
Now, this is about the time when we may see some of these alt runners like Nadi and I believe Adam Crane maybe come in, try to get their primary tires on at this point in time, and then try to make it from the end. But we'll just have to see how long they opt to stay out if their pace looks okay.
Right now, Crane just clear of Nogue a little bit. Nogue on the push, the pass down this very long straightaway into this very fast right-hander, turn 1. Then downhill, and there's a little kink in the middle of this straightaway right here. They count that as a turn, so at the bottom of the turn, that is turn 3 now. And they come out of this another long straightaway. There is a kink in this straightaway. That's what they call turn 4. And then a long blast down into turn 5. And you see a lot of cars using the runoff area. And there is, on the inside, Nogue. And that's what the prime tires are going to bring you at this point in lap 9. There's a little bit extra braking power. Control under braking. Going into turn 5. Move Nogue up to P5. Nunez has caught Oster, by the way. Go ahead.
As we were kind of experimenting with getting an idea of how long those red tires last, we were noticing they're probably good for only about 3 laps before they start to really show their age around this facility. That's why we kind of historically see a track like Road America become a black tire race, because they're just that little bit more durable with the heavy braking zones and the higher speeds. So kind of the lap 8, lap 9, it's getting to crunch time as to when do you feel like your pace is falling off enough where you got to just come in and take those black tires.
Luis Nunez around Jacob Oster, move him up another position to now 7th. As not LGN gets a shot around the Worm Man. And then we got a battle brewing right behind him with Nick Sadiq, Blaze, Andrich, Rashad, Craig, and Seb Alexander. The Andrich, Craig, Alexander group, they are all part of a cooperative alliance. They're working together, and they're hunting down my good pal, Nick Sadiq. Nick Sadiq, you can always find his car, very signature look of the cotton candy type colors on it. Look at the generous runoff area, everyone. Almost 4 wheels on the other side of the curbs there.
If you pave it, they will drive it.
Yeah, no kidding. I watched portions of the NASCAR race at Mexico City, and you're right. They were way out of bounds on a lot of those portions, and they were up in it.
Yeah, about the only deterrents for race car drivers are walls and heavy sand, and even heavy sand sometimes they'll find a way to make it work.
I guess if you actually make them bigger bumps in the rumble strips, I guess they would eventually would not go over them. Give them the old sleeping policeman treatment.
Well, I want to say that's how you wind up with the large pieces of debris falling off the cars, though. And that's
Right.
the big concern with that, is having to clean it up. I seem to remember when they had the large turtles at the Charlotte road course.
At Indianapolis
Yeah.
too, yeah.
And they would shoot over the top of them and basically cut off like entire front end aerodynamic pieces off the bottoms of the cars. Desnoyer, purple lap again.
Yeah, he is out to now a 5-second lead over Moore and Adam Blocker. Adam Blocker getting shouted out in chat. Brandon says Blocker will pull it off. Well, we still have a half a race to go. He still has a shot. Really, at this point, 11 laps in, and with the first stop looming, this is kind of Desnoyer's race to lose now at this point. Is it accurate to say that?
Well, it's entirely possible that, you know, he's got a car that's maybe set up a bit better for the blacks in terms of long run pace. You know, we may see he hops on the reds and that car kind of falls backwards a little bit. You never really know until it happens, but that could also go the other way too. Maybe Adam's got something for the alt stint that he knows is towards the end of the race. Maybe he's able to make up that distance come the end of it. You know, he's only about a second back from Nathan Moore. If he can get around him before the pit cycle, maybe be only between him and Desnoyer trying to come down to the end of it. There's always that opportunity depending on how his car kind of settles in.
Here's some of the new sound effects that you hear with this in-car. Desnoyer around turn 14, blasting up the main straightaway here at Road America. Uphill underneath the flag stand right now. And another purple lap for the Desnoyers. 2 in a row, 144.3. A little bit of a lift in the 1. There's turn 2. Now here's turn 3. Doesn't really slow down much at all.
I'm convinced that man bleeds purple with how much he's purpling it up at the top of the charts here.
And goes a little wide, almost gets all 4 wheels on the other side of the paint there. Up the hill, here's that blind corner. I told you, not much there until you get there. And again, you move so fast in these Indy cars. Down hill into turn 8. And now, and that's called hurry downs, and it's a lot of elevation drop there that you just really don't see it. Now they're through the carousel. Every road course has to have a carousel. And then the bend, and then the kink. And then the backstretch here, really not a backstretch, they just call it kettle bottoms. And now turn 12, Canada corner. Then through Thunder Valley before we go back uphill into Bill Mitchell Bend. And turn 14. And Kevin Burrell, he's working on blocker right now.
The general slowly marches forward over the course of this race.
And right behind him, he does have a teammate that's not pressuring him right now, so it's going to give Kevin full advantage of fully focused downrange on Adam Blocker. Blocker still getting to 8 of the draft in front of him by that Nathan Moore car. Whereas Blocker, we don't see in the IIS as much anymore because, well, he's working NTT IndyCar weekends. we're not going to see him then, guys. He's got a real job.
He's doing IIS for real.
He's doing it for reals, that's right. And we're all jealous. Down into the kink here now again. And Kevin's not going to be close enough here going into Canada corner, although he does sneak it in there hard under braking. Jacob Oster's kind of caught back up to Luis Nunez. I thought Luis Nunez would pull away and leave him. I think Luis Nunez might have got caught behind the lap traffic there. That is Raul Ramirez. Nunez coming to pit road, scheduled stop. In fact, I think we have a whole bunch coming to pit road, scheduled stop. This Noyers pit road, scheduled stop.
Yeah, Nathan
Kevin
Moore,
Burrell. Yeah, it looks like all of Fiercely Forward coming to pit road.
Yeah, and Kevin had his steering wheel about 40, like deadlock 90 degrees from center on his way in, so he was definitely pushing it as all he could get coming into pit lane here. So we'll have to see if he's able to kind of stay with Nathan Moore on the exit here. Oh no, he overshot his box.
Yeah, he overshot his box a little bit, had the backup. That's going to cost him a few seconds. And yeah, whatever ground he was going to gain and maybe even get a pass when Blocker comes to pit road, that might have disappeared right there for Kevin Burrell.
We'll just have to see.
Oh, car off at the top of the hill. Nunez, but he keeps it under control. Right behind him, Adam Crane. Adam Crane came in 2 laps ago, and he got those alternate tires off. He's on push to pass now. He is on the prime tire, so he is going to push now. This is his chance here. Also, to get Nunez, well, they all go all 4 wheels that time over the curb. Nunez until those tires come up to temperature. But remember, Nunez also probably has a little debris on those tires that he still needs to knock off. I'm willing to bet he's going to have it all knocked off by the time they get to the carousel, which is about now. Into the carousel out of 8. So your leader now is Adam Blocker, and he comes to pit road. Nogue comes to pit road, going a lap longer than the rest of his Fiercely Forward squad mates. Here comes Jacob Oster coming to pit road. Rashad Craig, pit road. Blaze Andrich, pit road. And Alexander Russell, pit road. Olivia Hayward, Miss Excitement, hits the markers there right on the dot. Will Weiser and that old Alex Pillow livery comes to pit road. Now, do we see this Noyers get all his positions back? Yep, you're going to see him get them all back right here. Boom, 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 up to the top. And he resumes the lead. Walker off pit road. And we might have Nogue jump. No, Nogue could not get up to speed fast enough. Oh, Nor goes wide, and he's going to lose a position. He's going to lose 2 positions, going wide and 1. I think that when that where Noge came out, I think threw off his turn-in point a little bit and caused him to go wide into 1. Now he needs to, while the temperature of his tires are still hot, if they still have temperature despite running through the grass, now he needs to really attack Nunez here and get that back. Actually, that's Noge.
Yeah, looking on the onboard from Nathan Moore, it looked like there might have been a slight amount of like hesitation maybe coming through the corner through 1 there. It's possible that he didn't know how close Noge was going to be on his inside, if at all, so he maybe was a bit more hesitant in terms of trying to get to the corner, but it just looks like that slight bit of hesitation, maybe a wheel lock up, kind of hard to tell, just sent him off, and that's so costly here because every corner leads onto such a big straightaway just about anywhere you come here, and you gotta get them all right, or it's backwards for you.
The IndyCar track records here. CART, when they were here, Paul Tracy holds that track record at 139.6. Colton Herta holds the contemporary IndyCar track record here now at a 140.8. The career wins leaders here in real IndyCar racing, Mario Andretti with 3. Emerson Fittipaldi with 3. Michael Andretti with 3. And Will Power. Alex Palou, Newgarden, Dixon, Junqueira. There's a name we don't talk about very often. It's Kevin Destroyers goes purple again. Paul Tracy and Jacques Villeneuve each have 2. And the Villeneuve family has 3 wins here, as Uncle Jacques got a win here back when he used to drive an IndyCar in the mid-'80s. So the Andretti family and the Villeneuve family do pretty well here. One family that does not do well here are the Unsers. They are snake-bitten. As much as the good luck that the Unsers have at Indianapolis, they are truly snake-bitten here.
Yeah, was it 1996 where Lil Al was leading with 1 to go and blew up coming into Canada corner? Was that the...
Yes, and gave the win to Michael Andretti to get him up to 3 so he could pull into a tie with Mario and Emerson. Al Sr. had a hard time here too. I'm not sure how many times Bobby ran here, but I can't imagine. I don't think Bobby ever won here, and I can't imagine he had much luck here. The whole family really just a rough time here. Hector Rabaki, that is your trivia question if you ever need to win a beer at a bar. Who won the first IndyCar race at Mid-Ohio, or not at Mid-Ohio, Road America? The answer to that is Hector Rabaki. And I believe that was also one of the first wins for Forsyth Racing. And Hector Rabaki, I think, quickly retired from IndyCar racing quickly thereafter. But he got his first and only IndyCar win here, and also one of the last non-televised races here. For whatever reason, it must be because this place is so far out in the country, as one of the Fiercely Forward cars goes way wide. Noge, I guess getting a TV truck out here with a satellite and everything back in the middle 80s might have been kind of tough to do. I don't know.
And it looks like maybe something similar happened with Noge. He kind of had a bit of a moment sliding into 1, gets off the course. I believe Alex Miller was trying to let him by as a lap down car. Possible a similar marker issue where he just kind of sent it in a little deeper than he might have otherwise, and off in the gravel you go.
Yeah, I'm going to do a replay here and watch it back just a little bit here. And see kind of what happened from Noge's point of view as we are lapped 17 to 22, quickly getting to the end of this race. And as we see Noge, as we ride with him down the front stretch, as a Miller lits up I guess that is just enough. He does it. Oh, the car gets loose as he turns in. That's what happened. He had to catch it, and it goes wide.
Yeah, it's razor's edge when you get to that corner apex because of how quick the corner kind of tapers off on exit. Track narrows up that little bit to start making that gradual slope down towards turn 3, and it's very difficult once you get out of that racing groove, much like turn 14 here.
If you're just joining us, this is P1's coverage of the INDYCAR Open Series Monday Night Top Split coming to you from Road America. We have now completed 18 of scheduled 22 laps. If you're enjoying our coverage to tonight's race or like to monetarily support your commentary team, please find the link to our GoFundMe campaign in the stream description and donate to our 2025 broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so no matter the donation, the amount is greatly appreciated. And we thank you for watching. Stick around later tonight, 9:35 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be back. I'm doing double duty tonight because Murph is on vacation. He has to take his kids to Disney World. That is the least happiest place on earth. I just say that from personal experience. I know they say it's the happiest place on earth, but that is the least happiest place on earth. I want my wife to hear that. She'll kill me. She loves that place, but I hate Disney. I hate it.
Just got to dial in your inner child. That'd be great.
My inner child really enjoyed being at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But join the 9:35 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll be in the lineup when we go to ISRA, their Sim Gaming Expo Open Wheel Series with the ISRA. They resume their championship at Motegi for round 8 coming up. And one of the best races we had last season in the ISRA was at Motegi, so you won't want to miss that. That's coming up at 9:35, just after this race here at Road America. 5 to go. Now 4 to go.
I think I'm gonna have to take the rocket ship flight out to Japan.
We'll get you out there in time. And just in case you're wondering, with 4 to go, here is your push the pass situation. And also, that is, I forgot I did not bring that up the entire time. That is your tire situation right there, as you see on the graphic. Anything with the red means you're on the alternates. Anything with the black triangle with the white outline, that means you're on the prime tire. But if you want to take a look at everyone's push-to-pass situation, where your favorite drivers might be, there they are. And that is in seconds. So 105 for Desnoyers, 92 for Blocker and Burrell, 73 for Nogue. Moore hasn't touched the button as much compared to his contemporaries, has 147. Nunez, Oster, Crane, Alexander, and Andrich, they've all smacked it a time or two in this race.
Scott's Moto as Adventurers chiming in said, you should like Disney. They had a relationship with IndyCar in the 80s through the 2010s. And how can you hate Walt Disney World Speedway?
Talk to the drivers. They really did not like that place. No, I did go to the 97 Indy Racing League race there, the Indy 200 in 97, the very first race they had the new cars. And that was a good time until the rains came, and then there was no place to hide there because everything at that entire facility at the time, or really when it was built, it was meant to be really temporary with the exception of the course. But I will not name the driver, but as a driver we know that drives on iRacing in the leagues that we participate in, and this driver said that he was not a fan of Walt Disney World Speedway. And the reason because of that is you really don't have to look much further than the terrible accidents they had in Turn 3 at that racetrack. The angle of attack at Turn 3 was pretty blunt. Davy Jones had basically a career-ending wreck there. LGN's favorite drivers. We're watching this battle between Nogue, Moore, and Nunez. Burrell. Wow, we're going to go 3 wide going in the 5. Luis Gonzalez Nunez, his favorite driver, basically had 2 big wrecks there. That's Salazar, Eliseo Salazar. And we also shouldn't forget, I mean, that's where the practice wreck happened that put Sam Schmidt in a wheelchair, unfortunately, for the rest of his life. So I'm not sad to see that racetrack go, but I would love to see it on iRacing.
We can enjoy all its faults in a comfort of virtual reality.
Exactly. I'd be willing to pay $15 to have that track in iRacing. It doesn't have to be accurate iRacing. Just give me, Do what you did for a scan for the iRacing Super Speedway. Get it close enough. That's fine. We could certainly use another mile oval for Indy cars. It's the same 3 all the time, and it's Milwaukee and New Hampshire, Phoenix, one of the Phoenixes. I don't count Dover as a 1 mile IndyCar oval.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find anybody who does.
A 1 mile oval, which you can do lap times over 200 miles per hour. So yeah, I'd love to see of course, we know there's one out there they could go right away and get. They haven't destroyed it. Pikes Peak's still out there. They can go get that one if they want to. Meanwhile, out to 6 seconds and about a lap and a half to go before he wraps up this win. The race is his to lose at this point. Is Desnoyers blocker 6 seconds behind? He is pretty much clear of any traffic at the moment. Nogue, still this battle here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. These they're gonna spam that push to pass button for all it's worth here, and use every bit of it up, provided they have fuel in the tank.
Let's give Adam Blocker some credit here, because before the cycle kind of completed, it was about an 8-second gap from Blocker to Desnoyer, and it's down to about just under 7. So there was definitely a gain made here. It's just, I guess, maybe too little, too late. Who knows? Maybe if we had a longer race to go here, he would have had something for the end of it, but props to him.
Well, if you like longer races at Road America, you need to check us out. Right now, tentatively scheduled 2 p.m. Eastern this Saturday right here on P1. The INDYCAR iRacing Series will make their Road America round, and those are 100% length races, so you can join me, El Patron, Antonio Estrada, and Ryan Skywalker as we bring you the action for the IIS this Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. Final lap underway. The Desnoyers cruising through turn 3, down the Moraine sweep into turns 4 and 5 for the final time. Taking a peek back on that battle for 3rd. It is still close. And is somebody going to make a dive down into turn 5 here? As all of them, look at them on the button. Look at all that green on the left side. On the button, down the straight. Who is going to send it? Nobody. Nobody was close enough to send it. I'll get one more opportunity right here. Maybe at the bottom of the hill going into 8. In fact, Moore is kind of close enough to Burrell that he might take a stab at it. No, not gonna. I keep building up all this drama, and they keep not doing it. Here we go through.
They just want to get to the end.
Possibly, yeah. Through the carousel last time. Oh, big twitch for Burrell. That's why it cost him a little momentum. This could be an opportunity for more at the end of 5 here, or at the end of the straightaway going into, Canada Corner. He takes a peek on the outside. We've got to pop up to the front, though, as Kevin Desnoyers has dominated this day. Did everything but lead all the laps, and he's going to get the win here at Road America as he does the Desnoyers weave on the front stretch. Adam Blocker is going to come home second. And let's see how this battle for 3rd runs out. Yeah, Nogue, Burrell, Moore, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Nunez comes home 6th. Jacob Oster 7th. Adam Crane up the hill all by himself in 8th. Russell in 9th. And Seb Alexander and the IAR entry comes home in 10th. And there you see Kevin Desnoyers' 6-second win. Might as well have been 6 laps or 600 miles. That's how he dominated today. Adam Blocker 2nd, Nogue in 3rd. So 2 fiercely forward drivers on the podium. Power slide on that 2nd step as we see the fiercely forward cars in a victory formation Burrell fourth, Moore fifth. Not Luis Gonzalez Nunez, but Luis Nunez in sixth. Jacob Oster seventh, Adam Crane in eighth, Russell ninth, Seb Alexander in 10th. Blaze Anderson 11th, Nick Sadiq in 12th. Miss Excitement Olivia Hayward 13th, Rashad Craig 14th. Daniel Mosteller in 15th, Logan Edwards 16th. Enger, Ramirez, Emmel, and Weiser. And that's your top 20. Miller, Taylor, and Akabueezy round out the remainder of the 23-car field. And in the spirit of Luis Gonzalez Nunez, who will be with me in just a little bit, the LGN driver of the race is going to be Luis Nunez, who finished 13 spots better from where he started. He started 19th, finished 6th. So a good day for Luis Nunez. So he's finding out that setup that they're working on, that eventually, if they get to the IIS rounds or if the Pro Series should start back up again, they're finding out that setup they have is still pretty good here and getting a lot of work in for it. And let's get some replays queued up here and get into the interview room. And then Jacob and I needs to catch a flight here to go off to Japan here soon. All right. Get into the interview room, see if anyone would like to talk. Let me get this track map off there. There we go. Clean screen. And we'll bring in Alex, and here he is. Alex coming home third today. Good run, but a moment of excitement there just after the first round of pit stops, going a little wide, but you kept it off the wall and out of the tire barriers. Congratulations on the P3, but talk about your little bit of excitement there right after that first pit stop.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I had cold tires at that point, and I braked a bit too late. So I had a moment of oversteer and trying to just keep the car without any damage. And yeah, I had to go for a rallycross line.
Well, you kept it straight. You didn't pick up any damage. I think you might have lost a position or two, but you got them on back. How was the racing out there? It looked like the red tires was not the way to go, but everyone, I guess, had to do a stint on them anyways. How were the red tires?
So yeah, the primary tires is for sure the best option out here. So because of the tire wear and tire management, and yeah, the red tires were quite a little bit difficult to keep alive. So yeah, we needed to be more careful, have a better throttle control, and be really, really mindful on what we did with the tires, because any little slip and things like that may turn your steering to a nightmare.
Well, congratulations on the P3. Good to have you here joining us tonight on a pretty good strength of field race. You have any shout outs, any friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to? It was a good day for the team. You guys got the first and third steps.
Yeah, it was a really good day for the team. I'm really happy. And yeah, I want to thank all the teammates. They helped me a lot. And also P1 Dogs, who has the best setups. So yeah.
Congratulations on the P3, and we will catch you in a week when we return to the ovals for round 2. We go to Pocono.
Yep. See you there, mate.
Yeah. And I do see Adam Blocker there. We will bring up Adam right now. And here he is. Adam, we were rooting for you last night. Now, we can't root for you necessarily here in the booth. We got to be impartial. So P2 here for you tonight. But we were certainly rooting for you last night. But talk about your race here. Once you got the start, it was pretty much everyone right in single file line and not a lot of passing up at the front. Kind of tire management waiting to get to that first round of pit stops, and maybe that's when passes would happen. But, man, Kevin was in another area code for you guys. Adam? All right, so Adam is not with us right now. So we will move him down. He might have to play with some audio settings. We will move him down. And if he pops back in, we will definitely talk to him again. But we will bring in Kevin Desnoyers real quick. And here is Kevin. Kevin, the winner tonight. Kevin, I think last time we talked, you and I, you were saying that the car was still fairly new to you. You were still learning things. And, well, how's that learning curve? Because, man, you put a stomping on a field that included former Indy Open, Indy Fixed Series champions, former IIS champions, people that are currently in the top 3 in the IIS right now, former VOR Series champions, former Oval Series winners. I mean, there was a lot of accolades in this field, and you made them all look pretty bad with a dominating run today. Talk about, getting onto the pole and just really running away with the thing.
And I don't even know. I felt like in the pole there were still a couple tenths because the wind was like the exact opposite from what I was testing. So I felt like I had to be a bit cautious in some places, but I don't know. Road America just really hooks up for me. I feel like I just really like this track, and yeah, I've been getting more seat time with the car, but mainly on primaries. I haven't done much alternate testing, so when I first got on that, I felt I was a little bit scared to push.
What was the big difference between the alts and the primaries? Is just the extra grip on the the alts at first, and then how they go away so fast, or that the primes tend to be more consistent?
Yeah, the primes they feel more consistent because, to me at least, feels like in the long run they kind of stay the same, and the alternates have way much more grip on the first lap, and then it kind of falls off really fast. I guess especially here, but I haven't run many other places, so don't have too much experience. But yeah,
Well,
they
maybe
also fall off even more towards the end. It was getting a bit sketchy towards the end.
Get a little twitchy. Well, I mean, even with this series schedule, are we good now? I mean, you're starting off the series right. You're probably, unless there's another strength of field race later this week that's higher than this, you're probably going to be the points leader, at least coming out of week 1. Does that kind of put you in a position that says, well, let me make a stab at this championship for season 3 here of 2025 of IndyCar Open?
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to take a go at it. I don't know how it'll be because there's a lot more tracks and a lot more disciplines, like including oval disciplines. So, there's a lot to learn.
I always find out that you guys that do so well on the road courses always say, I don't know about the ovals, and then you put you on an oval race, and the next thing we know, you're in the top 5, and at the end of the race, you're threatening for a podium or better. So I don't know if I want how I'm going to take you when you say, I'm still learning on the ovals. I got a feeling you're probably going to be doing okay, especially at a place like Pocono, which has a lot of kind of road course elements to it.
Yeah, that's the goal. We'll just have to see when the time comes.
Any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go on this you did everything but lead 3 laps of this race. You had the purple lap. You got the win, almost got the Grand Slam. You got at least three jewels of it. So, I mean, in my opinion, if you get 3 jewels of the Grand Slam, that classifies as a good old-fashioned stomping, and you did that. So I'm sure you're pretty happy that you got some people you want to shout out.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out Kevin. I don't know who all put the set, but I think the whole team put a Giga set together. It felt really good. And yeah, just shout out to my team, P1 Docs. Elish for being on the podium with me. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Kevin on here, and Hamilton had a rough race, but Shout out to them.
All right. Well, hopefully we see you for more this season. Probably going to be your points leader going into week 2 when we go to Pocono as Kevin Desnoyers. Winners tonight. Congratulations, and we will catch you at the next one.
Hope to see that. Thank you.
All right, and I did get a message from Adam. He's going to want to, moving off to another device that has better audio on it, so we will move him into the chat here momentarily. I just got to change my graphics there so you could see what type of race he had. Finished second, started third, led a lap, never got as low as third. Here he is. And there he is. Hey, we were rooting for you last night, man. Congratulations on a very strong race. I know you wanted more out of last night, but today you got a P2. Congratulations.
Yeah. Overall, I think you were asking earlier about Kevin. He was just too fast. So I kind of figured that out and was happy. Was decent with qualifying, but yeah, just, I realized probably on like lap 3 or 4 that I wasn't fast enough for Kevin, so I just decided to sit behind Nathan and save some fuel. And basically from there, I wasn't quite fast enough to pass him, so I just waited for the pit cycle. And I'm not really sure how I jumped them doing a 1-lap overcut onto Reds, but anyway, I took it and didn't really look back from there. So.
Okay, so as one of the more established teams, I'm going to ask an inside baseball question. You could be as ambiguous as you want about it, because I do realize a lot of these setups are the closely guarded national level secrets. But we did have a small update to the car. How much of your setups did change, or did you have to change? Was it little bits, lots of bits, whatever, or just say portions that you had to change to make this car work for you after the latest update? Was there any change at all?
So it's more of an evolution of a update. Didn't really radically change a lot of stuff, at least on road. Like for qualifying, to be honest, I didn't have enough time to build a qualifying setup, so I ran a previous qualifying setup with just like 2 changes. So, but for the race setup, and I do think in general with the aero updates in particular, the barge boards on and off will change some things. And then I think there are some small tire updates that I think we still need to figure out. And as we keep running on this update, I'm sure everyone will find slightly, new things. It normally takes a while for everyone to kind of figure out what's good, the new update. So I would say that right now it was somewhat similar to before, but we were also kind of struggling at tracks like this before, so we were kind of just doing a lot of changes anyway. So,
well, congratulations. The struggle didn't look too real for you today. You did lead 2 laps, got the P2 today, and a busy week for you as this weekend. Again, you'll be here for real this weekend, so best of luck to you there. Any shout-outs, any friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to before we let you go?
Just thanks for supporting the community, and thanks for everybody for turning up. It was a really strong race, and thanks to all the guys at Powerslide for the work on the setups, and yeah, thanks for y'all's support last night. We were hoping for a little bit better, but it's still a good result for us. So if we keep running like that, we'll eventually get a really good one.
That's what I'm thinking too. I got a feeling one of these days that checkered flag will come, and we'll be cheering right there with you. Well, congratulations, and we will catch you at the next broadcast stream here, but we will certainly catch you when you guys are on Fox this weekend at Road America.
Yep, thanks. See you then.
Jacob, it sounds like, a lot of guys out there trying some new things. And some things worked out, some things didn't, but apparently Kevin Desnoyers really clicked on something. And I don't know if it's maybe, do you think kind of ignorance is bliss in his case for being so new to the car that the update or whatever changes here, it just seems to be that it might appeal more to a driver that didn't have a feel to the car to begin with? I'm just kind of throwing it out there. I mean, I'm just saying that new guy to the car does so well and really puts a hurting on guys that have hundreds of starts in this car.
I think the big thing was, Adam kind of mentioned it, is that we really only had some barge board adjustments. A lot of people were maybe doing a bit of different things with the aerodynamics compared to before. So that's probably the biggest change that kind of gonna come over time. Same thing with the tires. It's incremental stuff that we'll probably get a better idea of how it impacts the further we get into the season. And, you know, we've got more variables yet to come, like rain. So that'll definitely play into, I'm sure that'll throw a monkey wrench in somebody's setup, because I'm sure that doesn't drive identical to how it does in the dry. So we'll have to see come later on in the season when we get to that, how that maybe throw some more wrenches in the works.
So just so we're clear on everyone, and I'm more of an oval guy because of the oval series. I don't necessarily follow the kind of how the open set is, but the open set, they kind of declare early when you guys are going to see rain, and you're not going to see rain until the Mid-Ohio and Portland rounds later this season, which those weeks happen to coincide with when the real NTC series goes to Mid-Ohio, which is July 4th weekend. I can't recall when they go to Portland, but it's not too far after that. But those are the two rounds, according to the schedule, that we can expect to see rain. I'm asking you. That's confirmation that was, yeah, okay.
So and then I believe the IIS round with rain will be Montreal, but I'd have to double check on that, because I know that may have changed at some point in time as well.
the IIS guys get to have half the season with the old car and a half a season with the newer version. That's just a little weird for them, but they'll figure it out. Well, that's it. We're going to wrap it up here tonight. We both got to get going to catch a flight over to another race and another series hereafter. Stick with us. 9:35. It will be the ISRA, their Sim Gaming Expo. Open wheel series there going to Motegi. But we'll get on out of here, wrap up tonight's coverage, and we'll set it up for Murph to pick this back up next week when we go to Pocono. Stand by. We'll get on out of here. Because I got to cue the music, right? I mean, I got to cue the music. Can't just talk. Well, that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium here from Road America. Kevin Desnoyers, man, what a race he had, and what a walloping he really put on this field. He is your winner tonight over Adam Blocker and Alex Nogue. That is your podium. Join us again next week for round 2, week 2 of season 3 of 2025 of the INDYCAR Open Series Monday Night Top Split, as Murph returns the call to action from one of our crown jewels at Pocono Raceway. Coverage begins around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 8:00 p.m. Eastern. As always, for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything right here at P1 Broadcasting. This is youtube.com at P1 Broadcasting. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but they're not easy. They require time and money to produce. Because of your generosity and donations, we've been able to bring you INDYCAR Open action nearly sponsor-free. And if you share our passion for the sport of INDYCAR and enjoyed our coverage of the INDYCAR Open Series Monday Night Top Split, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is pinned in chat. The link is also in the description, and donate to our 2025 broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution you can send our way will be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us part of your Monday evenings each and every week. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know you thought of tonight's race and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage. Support us by smashing like in the video. The next best thing, if you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more of P1's other iRacing programming, including tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The iRacing INDYCAR Oval Series kicks off at Chicagoland. 3 of the top 4 closest finishes in all of INDYCAR history have happened at Chicagoland. iRacing events here are no different. So catch all the wheel-to-wheel and nose-to-tail action right here on P1 tomorrow night. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. To get the most out of your iRacing experience, get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow on X and Instagram. Links are in the description. For business inquiries, to learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram, and all of our social links you can also find on Linktree. The links are all in the description. So for the rest of the season, Jacob Collins, everyone here at P1, and Murph, who is on vacation, thank you very much. I'm Gary Gotzo saying all, thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women serving in the military and its first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week in Pocono for the next race of the INDYCAR Open Series Monday Night Top Split on P1. Good night, everybody.